To empathize, what does that actually mean? In design thinking, the approach is from the user's perspective. In order to create something that has an added value to the user, we need to first understand them and their needs. With empathizing, we open the channel with them and engage them into a dialogue where we can start to understand their thoughts, feelings, and needs more closely. To understand another person, what will you do to get there? To have their perspective and to, in a way, walk in their shoes. Here is what we suggest you try out. Storytelling. By this, we don't intend you to become a stand-up comedian or the greatest storyteller over the campfire. No. By this, we refer to those moments when you honestly and openly share something from your life. Tell a story to the person next to you. By taking turns in sharing, listening, and showing interest, you can gradually move towards those topics that seem to be interesting or challenging for the both of you. If you're more than two and you feel that it's appropriate to the situation, circle time or dialogue ring is an excellent way to support every person to have equal opportunity to engage into the conversation. In this way, the situation doesn't turn into, let's say, an interrogation where you would be seen as the leader trying to steer the conversation to the right direction, which could be right only in your head. And if this would happen for any reason, how would that affect the conversation and eventually your understanding of the participating people? What do you think? Dialogue. Dialogue is space where we can all learn the ability to think together. For this to happen, there are four cornerstones to think about and act upon. Listen. You might think that, yes, it is obvious that I need to listen. But here's the thing. I suggest you focus on the difference between these two statements and ask yourself, do I listen to spot the next chance so that I can speak again? Or do I listen to understand the other person and their thinking? There is a difference. Speak. Same here. Do you speak just to break the awkward silence and keep the conversation nice and flowing? Or are you speaking from your heart? So, honesty. And that's not easy. But in order to get closer to the truth and to the deeper laying factors behind a problem or any situation, honesty is required. And this way, whatever comes to the surface is far more valuable than having a small talk over something trivial. Wait. You might have a lot in your mind what you want to say next. But what happens if you do that constantly? By giving the other people space, even though it would mean maybe occasional awkward silences, they will be the ones talking and sharing their thoughts and feelings. So, when you are in a conversation, do you usually talk more than the other people? Could you try having the awkward silence and see what happens? Fourth one, respect. In order to get to something deeper, to talk about thoughts, feelings, needs, even pains, there needs to be a certain level of trust. And that requires usually time together, but it also requires respect. It might be that you think differently than the other person next to you, but isn't that what is actually interesting and useful to hear? What to do now? We encourage you to go out there and do storytelling and dialoguing. So think and then decide who you're gonna talk with, and then go and start a conversation with them. While you are in that situation, observe yourself. How are you in dialogue? And when you think about these four cornerstones, what seems to be dominating the way you act? Or are those four in balance? And from there, I think you can see what is it that you could develop in the way you are in dialogue. When you do this, key thing to keep in mind is that you're not there to look for specific answer. At this moment, when you enter a dialogue, the conversation can take any direction because it's based on the other person's interests, beliefs, needs. And when you dare to leave your own agenda behind, you're able to learn from those around you. So we suggest that as the next step, you go and spend at least 45 to 60 minutes just talking to people and practicing storytelling and dialoguing. After this, you'll be able to notice and also reflect on your experience. Brave experiment.